Herman Deal, the real deal here. Thank you for watching this edition of Subconscious Fat. Okay, today we're going to talk about the 151 protocol. Okay, this is something that I implement with a lot of my clients. I don't start them on this protocol right away, but it's something that is great if you're not a client and you just want to get fit and have a simple system. Then this is the way to go. My whole philosophy at Occam's Razor Fitness is around simplicity. In fact, Occam's Razor actually means that the simple solution is usually correct. So I constantly look at what are there simple things we can do? How can we simplify things to make it easy to understand so that then you do protocols that make your life easier, that don't waste a lot of time, and for men over 40 that you continue to grow muscle and decrease fat along here. Okay, so what does the 151 protocol stand for? Okay, the first one stands for what are you going to count when you eat? I always talk about how diet is 80%, 90% as we get older. Diet might only be 50% when you're in your 20s and 30s. As you get older, when you get to be 40 plus, then diet becomes a bigger factor in how it affects your life and how you gain weight and how you avoid getting a big gut like most men have when they get over 40. Extremely common. So the only thing we really need to worry about to count is protein. So in order to maintain muscle, often it's not because you're not doing enough exercise. You might be doing enough exercise. More often than not, it's that you're not getting enough protein. Because on top of everything else, as we get older, you don't absorb protein as well. See? So you need to count protein. And the ideal in order to grow muscle is to get either your body weight in grams of protein. So if you weigh 175 pounds, then you should eat 175 grams of protein per day. That's ideal. I like to give a little bit of wiggle room where you're going to hit at least 150 or 25 grams less than what your ideal weight is. So if you weigh 200, and that's ideal weight. So if you weigh 250 and you know you need to lose 250 pounds, and we're not talking, you got to count 250 grams of protein. You want to do your ideal weight. So if you weigh 250 and your ideal weight is 200, then that's what you want to count as the amount of protein grams per day that you should eat. And I would give a little bit of wiggle room. If you hit 175, that's probably good enough. You don't feel like eating anymore, that's fine. You got close enough. And then the 151, the 5 stands for the 5 exercises that we do. Again, very simple. You're going to do an exercise going straight up. That's one. Then you're going to do one exercise working your quads. It might be a leg extension, working your quads. Then you're going to do another, this is on a push day, you're going to do another exercise going straight out, push-ups, bench press, getting a band, doing a banded crossover. That would be the second exercise. And then you would do another one for the legs. Maybe you could just do squats. You're going to be on a push day, you're working out the front of your legs. And then final exercise is one more, either dips or just going straight down triceps extension. So the point is, it's just 5 exercises. And of course, within those exercises, you can do variations. I like to do the overhead standing press with a band, but you can prime with weight, then use a band. The point is, it's simple. You're only doing 5 exercises. It's easy, and it allows for variety. The other 151 protocol, the final one, is you're just doing 1 set to muscle failure. And this is huge because why? Because, well, that means you're not going to take a long time working out. Look, I and you, we have a life to live. You have a life to live. You shouldn't spend more than half an hour at the gym at the most. I mean, we have a life to live. We're busy, okay? And if I'm going to help busy men over the age of 40, then this is a great system to have, and you just need to do 1 set to muscle failure. So let's say on a pull day, we're doing a biceps curl going up. We're going to get to the point where we keep doing the biceps curl. We're going to go up to our chest, and we're going to get to a point where we can't go up to the chest anymore. Now we're doing partial curls, and now we're really hitting real great, fantastic muscle failure, really building up the biceps muscle. And that's why one set to failure is critical and saves a lot of time. Now, I've spoken about the 5 exercises before. I've spoken about getting to muscle failure before. So today I'm going to focus a little more on why protein. I mean, isn't there carbs, fat? Why aren't we counting carbs, calories? Shouldn't we count calories? See, here's the thing. A lot of people, a lot of trainers and influencers, they like to come across as very knowledgeable. And if they give you that, oh, you should eat this amount of fat, this amount of carbohydrates, this amount of calories, are you counting your calories every day? Then it makes you feel like, oh, they know something I don't. And yeah, maybe they do. But the point is, all that information is just fluff. It's just fluff. You don't need it. I'm about being simple. I'm about how can you get a simple concept and apply it to your busy life. And that's why, and the main reason why, you only need to count protein. And now I'm going to show you the science behind why you don't need to count calories, you don't need to count carbohydrates, you don't need to count fat. You only need to count one thing, protein. I'm going to show you the science why now. Okay, so part of the science is the protein leverage hypothesis. Okay. What this shows, and there's a lot of science behind this, is that you can see there the orange line going straight up. That represents protein intake. The more protein we eat, the more hunger goes down. Cravings, sugar addiction, carbohydrate addiction. It's going to go down with the more protein we eat, which is why I always recommend this is the only thing we really need to worry about is amount of protein. If you eat enough protein with some fat, with the fat that comes naturally, if you eat a ribeye, sometimes when you eat a ribeye, there's the fat around the steak. If that fat is tasting good for you, remember, you have an innate intelligence. So if the fat is tasting good, then eat the fat. If the fat is not tasting good, then don't eat it. The reality is that fat intake can change and vary greatly, and you should really go on taste with that because sometimes animals may accumulate toxins in their fat. So your body may be rejecting it for a good reason if it doesn't taste right. But if it tastes good, then you want to eat that fat. I know I tend to cook in ghee or butter or beef tallow, and I mainly cook in ghee lately. I just love that fat. The juices after I cook a chicken or a piece of meat. I love it. My body wants that fat. But protein, more than anything, is what will make you feel full. So if you eat enough protein, then you don't need carbohydrates or more fat because you're filled up. So this is critical to understand. Keep this image in your mind. More protein you eat, the less hunger cravings you're going to have, the easier it is to lose weight. And then here we have the thermic effect of food. So as this chart shows, when you eat protein, it takes 30% of the protein you just ate, 30% of those calories are going to be used up just to digest the protein. Okay, so it takes more energy to digest protein. Think of it this way, it's meat, it's fish, it's eggs. You kind of have to break it up. It's hard, it's meat. You have to chew more. So you're burning more energy just by eating protein by itself. When you eat carbohydrates, it's only 10%. When you eat fats, well, that's easy. That's real easy for the body. You use very little energy to um, digest the fat, only 5%. And remember, fat is absolutely essential. So, what we really want to do here is we want to be at both extremes. The ideal diet involves a lot of protein with the natural fat that comes with it. You count the protein, but with the fat, you listen to your innate intelligence and you eat to taste with the fat. And that's going to vary depending on a lot of things, depending on what's going on in your body. That's the best way to eat. And a little secret, maybe I'm going to whisper it here. You don't really need carbohydrates at all. At all. You don't need it at all. That's the truth. So, four main points to get out of this. Four main points to remember with the 151 protocol. The first thing being that you're only counting protein. Because of the protein leverage hypothesis, your body doesn't chase calories, it chases protein. Okay. We chased animals to kill them and eat them. We chased protein. We never needed to chase fruit. We never needed to chase vegetables. Your body wants protein. Point two, if you undereat protein, you overeat everything else. Duh. Yeah, that's the way it works. Point number three, protein kills hunger at the hormonal level. Point four, protein protects muscle, especially after the age of 40. Keep these four concepts in mind. It'll motivate you. It'll get your mind correct. It'll give you the mindset to, yeah, I need to focus on protein. Forget counting calories, forget everything else. Count protein when it comes to your eating. So I hope this made sense. I hope these couple of graphs that I've shown here make sense as to why we only need to focus on protein. If you eat protein, if you get enough protein, everything else takes care of itself. When you realize the common sense, you have an innate intelligence, you eat about as much fat as your body tells you to eat, as good to taste, listen to your taste buds, then you're probably going to get the right fat, enough fat, and generally you want to lean towards eating more fat. But the thing you really want to keep track of, that you want to count, the only thing you need to count is protein. The 151 protocol. Thank you for watching. Feel free to email me, or if we're on Instagram or Facebook, you can message me there as well. If you have any other additional questions, I'll be happy to help. I'm even happy to get on a phone call or a Zoom call to really get into the nitty gritty with this. The 151 protocol is not normally how I start my clients. Most of my clients would start with a 10-minute workout. And there's specific reasons for that. But the 151 protocol is a very good thing that once you're close or you've gotten to your ideal weight, it's a great protocol to follow for most people. Thank you for watching. I will be back next Monday with another video, and Thursday with Mr. Skeptical. Bye.